On an airstrip in New Zealand, a woman carrying a case looks for an American bomber plane called the Fool's Errand. When she boards, the crew of the plane aggressively question her, and she reveals her identity. Maude Garrett is an RAF pilot officer assigned with a top-secret mission to safeguard and deliver a package while accompanying the Fool's Errand. Taggart, the plane's head mechanic, delivers the written order to Reeves, the captain of the plane. After reading the note, he tells her to make her way to the Sperry, a turret on the bottom of the plane, so that they can take off and discuss her involvement when they reach a safe altitude. She can't fit inside the tight area with the package, so she leaves it to the care of Sergeant Quaid, reiterating its confidentiality and fragility. After they take off, she checks out her surroundings, familiarizing herself with the mechanisms. She spots a plane below them in the clouds and puts on a headset to notify Captain Reeves. Through the headset, she can hear the other crew members ridiculing her and making derogatory statements about her. She intrudes their locker room talk, and after being embarrassed, Dorn and Beckel introduce themselves as the other gunners on the plane. Captain Reeves tells her that they're heading to Samoa to drop off some transponders their allies desperately need alongside his county pilot, Mr. Williams, who is overseeing the delivery. They ask why she was assigned, but she insists on her assignment being top secret. Taggart asks about her qualifications. They laugh when she mentions that she's a mechanic and pilot, believing no female can be either of those. Sergeant Quaid stops the bullying, and she asks about the package's security. After reassuring her that it's safe, she tries to mention the random plane she saw below them, but is ignored. She peers into the cloudy sky and spots a shadowy figure on the underside of the wing. She reports it to Captain Reeves, but the crew thinks she's hallucinating due to claustrophobia. He orders her to come up from there, and she accepts. As she pulls the handle for the hatch, it breaks off, trapping her inside. Taggart, Dorn, and Beckel try to open the door from their side, but it remains stuck. Maude gets frustrated and takes it out on the crew for being useless. The petty Captain Reeves decides to leave her inside the turret until she can calm down and tells Taggart to cut her from the radio. He also orders Taggart to check her credentials, making sure she is telling the truth about her assignment. Maude spots a Japanese fighter plane and tries to report it to Captain Reeves, but gets interrupted by the gremlin. It forces her door open, and she quickly regains control and closes it. She jams her finger into the lock and reaches for her gun. After loading it, she takes a shot at the gremlin, making it flee so she can lock the door. The crew turns her communication back on and yells at her for shooting a gun. She lies to them about having a gun, and Taggart reveals that she is not on any personnel list on any military base. Captain Reeves orders the crew to bring her up and arrest her, but she jams the cogs inside. She tells them to focus because there's a Japanese fighter plane below them. They still don't believe her until it opens fire on them. She primes the turret and returns fire, shooting it out of the sky. Dorn and Beckel begin to respect her and her skills. Taggart notices that she lost her accent, and she reveals she is American, not British. Before she can explain herself, the gremlin crawls to her from the wing and uses a crack in the glass to force its way in with its tail. She stomps on it, and the gremlin angrily tears into the wing, messing up the engine. Taggart and Captain Reeves believe that the package Maude brought is the cause of the plane malfunctioning and decide to open it. Taggart goes to open the package, but Quaid stops him at gunpoint. He overpowers Quaid, and when he opens it, a baby is heard over the radio. Maude is speechless, and Quaid tells Taggart to hand over his baby. Maude tells them the truth over the radio. She explains that her first husband, who is also in the military, is an alcoholic and beat her. She joined the military and met Quaid and had an affair. She found out she was pregnant and had the baby without telling Quaid. She was scared what her husband would do if he found out, so she forged a letter from Captain Reeves' commanding officer, knowing Quaid would be on the plane, and hoped to run away to Samoa with their newborn. After hearing this, Captain Reeves orders to return back to base, so that Maude and Quaid can be court-martialed. Before they can turn around, 3 more Japanese planes show up, and the crew get into position. As they figure out where the planes went, they hear something roaming around on top of the plane. They realize that Maude was telling the truth about the gremlin, and it gets inside. The crew panic, and Maude thinks it killed Quaid. She sees the gremlin, leaving the underside of the wing and carrying the case with her baby inside. She opens the door to the outside and starts shooting at the gremlin, forcing it to retreat back into the plane. It leaves the case outside hanging. She gets out of the turret and climbs the wing towards the case. She yanks out a large metal pole and tries to hook it onto the hanging case. She barely manages to hook the case and climbs up the broken part of the wing. After checking to see if the baby is fine, the Japanese planes shoot at them. Realizing she's not safe, she makes her way to the weapons bay in the middle of the plane. She sets the case inside first, but she loses her grip when the plane jerks. She falls out, but a Japanese plane explodes below her, sending her flying back into the plane. Dorn is surprised to see her but is quickly shot dead. She dodges more incoming fire by running to Beckel at the tail end of the plane. She takes the case and runs towards the cockpit, stopping in front of Taggart, who's fighting the gremlin. The gremlin leaps onto the case and starts pulling it away from Maud. Taggart helps push the case away from it and tells her to keep the baby safe before falling out of the plane. The gremlin falls too, but opens its wings and flies away. She reaches the cockpit and tells Captain Reeves and Mr. Williams to land the plane. A Japanese plane comes in front of them and shoots, injuring Mr. Williams and killing Captain Reeves. She dodges more bullets and sees that Quaid is alive. They embrace and she hands over the baby to him. The gremlin is back on board and on top of Beckel. She pulls out her gun and the gremlin goes after her. Beckel gets up and shoots wildly. Missing the gremlin, Maud takes her aim and shoots. She lands the shot on its chest and it falls out of the plane. Before she can confirm her kill, she gets on the turret and shoots down another Japanese plane. She takes control of the plane next to Mr. Williams. She flips the plane 180 degrees to stop it from diving into the ground. Once they're level, she flips the plane back upright, and they crash land successfully. Maud, Beckel, Quaid, and Mr. Williams rush out of the plane before it explodes. Quaid and Maud check the baby to make sure it's safe. Because she saved them, Beckel and Mr. Williams decide to lie so that she doesn't get court-martialed. Quaid gets on his knees and proposes to Maud, but he's yanked away by the gremlin. Maud chases it down and gets the case back. She goes after it, beating it down with her hands. She breaks its arm and stabs its neck with its own claw, finally killing the beast. She takes her baby and sits down with the crew, waiting to be rescued.